Let me start off by saying I'm very excited about this segment. I am really looking forward to sharing our society oath with you. I'm going to do this in two parts. First, I'm just going to read the oath beginning to top to bottom, beginning to end, and you'll get to hear it in its entirety. And then I'm actually going to go through and do an explanation of each line and what that means, so you really get the full scope of what we're saying within what we mean. It's important to hear the words, but it's more important to understand what they mean, and you're really going to get that as we go. So, Peacemaker Society Member Oath. This is what the three founding members have signed for our society. You don't have to do this in order to be a member, but within that, being a sworn member means that our society laws actually apply to you, and personally I love it. So this is our membership oath. I am my brother and sister's keeper, a keeper of peace. My guiding principles are love, compassion, and truth. I have a duty of compassion to my fellow people. I am fulfilling my duty by exercising my rights. I defend our guaranteed human rights, the right to life, the right to liberty, the right to property, the right that all are created equal. We are an independent society. We are free to live as we like. We are free to do as we like. We are free to believe as we like. Blessed are the peacekeepers. Call them sons and daughters of God, whatever that means to me. A rose by any other name is still a rose. My soul and physical person belong to myself and to God. I am a child of God, not a child of the province I live in. I am not chattel. I am equal to every other human on earth. I am a natural human being living in a natural law jurisdiction. I have revoked consent to be represented and thus governed. I am not subject to any statutory obligations, restraints, acts, bylaws, orders, or anything like that. I am a flesh and blood man who has the ability to choose the capacity for rights and duties. I am entitled to equality under the law. This means all are equal. This includes government agents. This means no one can make demands on me. This means everything must be offers. I'm engaged and dedicated to always being in a celebration of life every day. I reserve my right to uniform consent of any substance. I am dedicated to finding and having a greater purpose than myself. I will make the world a better place for me having been here. I will do my best not to add to the suffering of the world. I will strive to inspire and teach those around me who are in need. I will only speak that which I know to be true. I will remember that my talents and abilities are not the limits of what is possible. I know that the truth is the truth, even if those around me can't or won't face it. I swear to this oath as a proud member of Peacemaker Society. So, I'm going to go through the explanation now of what each one of those lines mean, as well as just an explanation of our society oath. Our society oath is what allows our society claim of right to apply to you as a society member. The claim of right applies to you in whatever way is agreed upon in how you become a member. This is one of the quotes from our claim of right contract served upon Stephen Harper, which allows us to include you in our society, as well as making us able to extend to you the ability to use our fee schedule as your own. I claim the right to have any and all Peacemaker Society notices of understanding and intent and claim of right documents apply to every member of the Peacemaker Society upon a Peacemaker Society member signing his or her Peacemaker Society oath. Again, if you don't sign the oath, you're just a voluntary association. You're not under our society law or anything. And for people who do sign the oath, our society law has to respect your individual rights and freedoms. We don't have a right to tax you, take your property, anything. And even as an oath member, you have the right to break at any time, with the exception of maybe the family members. But even at that, if they want to, they could. But we're all pretty committed in this, and that's not going to happen. So I'm going to go through this now. So I am my brother and sister's keeper. This means to help those around you who you consider to be your family. This means to share with those who you care about. This means to try to be the solution in situations, not the problem. A keeper of peace. That means to keep the peace, learn to become an expert on not contracting with corporations, and standing up for your rights in the correct legal form, to be a person of honor. I have a duty of compassion to my fellow people. This is one of the principles our society was founded upon. Empathy for others is where compassion comes from. This is your duty as a member of Peacemaker Society if you sign an oath. I am fulfilling my duty by exercising my rights. You honor all who came before you by using the rights others have died to ensure that you have. By exercising your rights, you are fulfilling your duty as a Canadian and as a free flesh and blood man or woman. All the rights we uphold are within the law, both common law, natural law, and its valid society law. I defend our guaranteed human rights. This means guaranteed human rights are also known as inalienable rights. These are outlined in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. No one can take these rights from you without your consent. You can choose to exercise them or not exercise them, but you always have them. Government ID makes you a corporation under the law and no longer a human being. You have no human being rights as long as you are a corporate person. That's what you give up to be under their system, your human rights. You get corporate privilege. The right to life, you have the right to live. The right to liberty, freedom to behave as one pleases, circumscribed by the laws and codes of conduct of the society in which one lives. The right to property. You have the right to own your own property. As a corporate person under your government ID, you do not own property. Anything you register, car, house, children, you are in fact abandoning ownership under the law. You're hypothecating that property to the government, and you give a legal title to use that property only, but you don't own it free and clear. The right that all are created equal. Equality before the law is paramount and mandatory. This is the law, period. Under the law, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. Learn your human rights to become completely free. We are an independent society. This means we are self-governing. We exist as a sovereign group of flesh and blood men and women. Law, society, acts, and statutes have no force of law over our society or its members. We are free to live as we like. Our society laws are set up within natural law and common law jurisdictional standards. You must respect the life, liberty, property, and rights of your fellow men and women. As long as you're within the law, no one may tell you how to live your life. We are free to do as we like. This is what liberty means. If you do not take an action with criminal intent that causes harm to someone else, there is no crime, so enjoy what you're doing. You're not free until you learn how not to contract away your human rights. We are free to believe as we like. As long as we are not in conflict with others' rights to do the same, this is an inalienable right of all human beings who operate as a flesh and blood man or woman. Blessed are the peacekeepers. We are here to help and bring peace to all who wish it in any way we can. I am not chattel. Using government ID makes you chattel or collateral on your corporate ID. You are a human being, in fact, but under the law, you're chattel without any rights. I am equal to every human on earth. Once you learn your human rights, you will be. This is the first step. Congratulations. Remember, right now you're a corporation or corporate person, not a human being under the law. I am a natural human being living in a natural law jurisdiction. Under common law or natural law, a human being is also referred to as a natural person. Corporations claim the right to act as a natural person with the right to private contract and to own property. No corporation can legally force you to contract once you understand how to keep yourself defined as a human being under their system or outside of their system. I am operating with lawful excuse as per section 126 of the Criminal Code. It states, everyone who, without lawful excuse, contravenes an act of Parliament by willfully doing anything that it forbids, or by willfully admitting to do anything that it requires to be done is, unless a punishment is expressly provided by law, guilty of an indictable offense and liable to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years. Our society has their own valid claim of right that was served upon Stephen Harper's office. A claim of right is lawful excuse within a common law jurisdiction. Within that, later this year, our society will stand completely under natural law. Common law is judicial decision of England, basically. They can still trick you into contracting, so you must learn how not to contract with corporations to be safe from them. I am acknowledging the Peacemaker Society claim of right. This is you acknowledging that we have told you that you have lawful excuse to be free and independent, even if we were wrong. Anyway, I'm not going to go into that, we're not wrong. I am a human being who has the ability to choose the capacity for rights and duties. This means you are capable of making good decisions in your own life. This means you don't need someone else to tell you what your rights and duties are. This means you control all aspects of your life and you don't harm anyone else's property or rights in the process. I am entitled to equality under the law. The Canada Incorporated Government is a signatory to the UN Universal Declaration of Human Rights. This is in their corporate articles and they are bound legally by it. As long as you're a corporation or corporate person under the law, they don't have to treat you as a human being. Once you become a free human being recognized as such under the law, they then have to treat you under the law as a human being. This is the only way to be equal under the law. This means we are all equal. Corporations have diminished rights under the law. They actually have privileges. They don't have rights. They are bound by acts, statutes, bylaws, orders. A human being who operates with all rights reserved is equal until he or she enters a corporate contract or private contract with someone without reserving said rights. This includes government agents. All government agents are legal corporations under the law. They can only act upon other corporations or free human beings who consent to contract. Consent is the key word. Even if they trick you into contracting through your lack of knowledge on the subject. All corporate entities have a bond or commercial liability insurance that you can seize legally if they operate outside the law, even if it is from being ignorant of it. I'm engaged and dedicated to always being in a celebration of life every day. You may enjoy it in any way that does not cause harm to others or interfere with their rights. Excuse me. For all this to work for you, you have to know your rights inside and out. We are here to support you, but you have to learn it. Under the law, if you don't know your rights, you don't have any. Police and lawyers love it when you don't know your rights. As soon as you use a lawyer to represent you, you have given up your rights to a corporation. You then no longer have any human being rights under the law. If you get a lawyer, you're a ward of the court. It's kind of a complicated thing, we'll get into it later, but it's important to know your rights. I swear to this oath as a proud member of the Peacemaker Society. By swearing to this oath, you become a member of our society as per the details of your member agreement. You are now recognized as a human being under the law. You operate with lawful excuse as per section 126 of the Criminal Code. You now have the opportunity to learn your human rights under the law and then make appropriate choices of how to best apply this knowledge to your life. Also, lawful excuse applies within the Criminal Code, but again, later this year we will be standing completely separate from their jurisdiction. If you have any questions in regards to the Society Oath, please feel free to email us, peacemakersociety@live.com, or again, if our website is up when you're watching this, feel free to contact us through that. I will see you in the next segment. In the next segment, we are going to be going through our actual society notice of understanding and intent and claim of right that we used. We did 2. I will be showing you the second one because it's a little more thorough in what it goes through, but all of the claims of right will be available on our website. So I will see you in the next segment. Thanks.